KFAN. Just in case you missed it, it's the top 5 sports talkers of the day. Now, it's time for Dan Barrero's Top 5 at 5. Brought to you by Gutter Helmet of Minnesota. Never clean your gutters again. Learn more at gutterhelmetmn.com.
I have one Twitter account dedicated to Timberwolves talk, and I have another Twitter account dedicated to Wild talk. You're right. We don't want to admit it. It's from 651 guy. I don't know who that is. So I guess, is that him
admit what?
Confirming that you don't want, if you don't want the other side to know that you actually might be celebrating or rooting for both teams. That in that world is considered so polarizing, you have to make up a burner account, because otherwise the hockey people would say, you turncoat, what are you doing tweeting about the Wolves? And vice versa. I think that's what he's saying, because that's what we were talking about earlier. I don't understand why we can't get along. I think a lot of people actually do.
Yes. It's like everything.
They're just not as loud. You're not going to hear from them. And they're afraid if they say something like Fallness, the Fallnesses and the Johnny Athletics of the world are going to pound on them.
Just like politics, it's the fringes. It's the fringes that get us in trouble. I know.
Yeah. They sap the energy out of all of us.
I would like to know, Bradshaw and Brian, KFAN text line 64686, because I considered doing this and I wasn't able to pull it off. Who's going to both games tonight? Who's taking in both?
Yeah.
Because this is as rare an opportunity as you can get. I would love to have been able to figure it out. I can't. I'm going to the Wolves.
That used to be the best kind of column writing to do. There were occasions where they either overlapped, or you said, I'm going to go to like 4 events all day. And that's fun from a newspaper standpoint.
Our guy Chip Scoggins was trying to do it today. He said he wasn't able to pull it off.
But you got to decide, how does it all fit? How does it configure? It's actually, I think, easier when it's regular season stuff as opposed to postseason.
Usually you have an afternoon game and then a night game.
Well, here's the other thing.
You can do both. So I'd love to know if anybody's doing it, because I'm jealous.
In Chip's defense, once upon a time, the nighttime deadline to start to be was like 1 a.m. Now it's 2 p.m.
Actually,
so that also makes it even harder.
Neither of his columns would get in. Whatever he picked tonight.
It's true. Sad.
You should have done last night's game.
Yeah.
Let's start with the Wild. The pregame show starts about an hour from now. We just had Russo Radio, if you missed it, and not breaking news, not really surprising news, but Jonas Brodin is out tonight. Petrie is in his place. Who did he say? Russo said he would have gone somebody else, and now the name is escaping me.
Yes, he did.
But anyway.
Assuming that player was going to be needed against the Lanch anyway, if the Brodin injury extends.
He doesn't get a vote, unfortunately.
No, he does not.
Bobby Brink is out. Nico Sturm is in the lineup, and of course,
Bobby Brink may never play again. That's what I was told.
Man,
well, I'm being a little sarcastic, but it wasn't that good. Now, I know he's a local kid, and he's one of us.
He's one of us.
That's great, but
I think his jersey's in our high school rink.
This is not show friends.
It's game 6 is what it is.
I mean, we can't mess around with this nonsense. Now, it is interesting. The one negative for Luigi is he's worried about Brodin too, just like Russo said. He thinks it's a major blow. Is it Anthony Edwards large? I don't think it is. But are we going to look back on it as being a factor? At some point, though, single injuries to me, you have to find a way for a night at home to rise above it. You just absolutely do. Otherwise, you can talk yourself into inertia, and just freezing up and curling up in the fetal position.
Does it mean anything to you that 12 years ago tonight?
No.
Nino Niederreiter's Game 7 goal in Colorado gave the Wild their first playoff series win in 11 years.
Think about it.
And if the Wild win tonight, April 30th, 2026, it would be 11 years.
It'd be a nice touch.
Yeah.
I don't think one thing has much to do with the other, but it is nice.
But it's something to bring up.
Well, what it reminds us of is just how few highlights we have.
Seriously,
like that.
Decades upon decades.
In Boston, they'd say, "Well, that's like one of 37." We have like one of 1.
Russo was right. The Jefferson Let's Play Hockey was
I didn't hear it. Was it good?
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I think you can find it online.
I think he's in Asia now. He's on this tour.
This Under Armour tour.
It's unbelievable. Yeah, that's how that's an Under Armour tour, and he's wowing them in China apparently.
We need to get a Super Bowl for Justin Jefferson. The guy deserves it. Yeah, he deserves it. Let's give you the most updated Timberwolves status report because there's a new one 5 minutes ago. Yeah, is it about 5 minutes ago? Yeah. We know about Edwards and DiVincenzo. They're out. Bones Highland is available after being questionable yesterday. Left knee soreness happened at the end of Game 5. Ayo Dosunmu is questionable with right calf soreness. And just added to the injury report.
So there's I was hoping there was an update on him.
No.
Okay.
He's still questionable. Just added to the injury report, and he was at shoot-around.
This is they're trolling now. This is rage baiting.
Well, it's Kyle Anderson.
Oh, well, he's always hurt. Well, I always think he's always ill.
He's listed as illness.
Oh, no.
So, I mean, he was going to play tonight at some point.
Not a lot, probably.
It just depends, right?
Yeah,
He's a Finchy guy. Finchy trusts him.
Yeah.
He's obviously one of the smartest players they have. He's a gamer. He can guard. He's not obviously a great scorer. He's slow-mo, but just add another one to the list. I did want to try to find if there was anything definitive about Denver.
Can we bring up anybody from the minors here? Or is it?
Well, everybody's there. I mean, Berenger's there. Rocco's there.
Yeah.
All of our guys are here.
Are they all eligible?
I don't think so.
Oh.
I assume there's some type of playoff roster.
Okay.
Anyway, it's an 8:30 puck drop at Target Center for Game 6. The Wolves looking to knock off Denver for the second straight game and for the second straight time in the postseason going back 2 years ago.
Second straight game?
Well, looking to knock them out for the second straight game.
Okay. Oh, I see, because they could have technically been, they were in that position.
They could have wrapped it up in 5.
I think Sam pretty much agreed with me that you're going to have to win defensively tonight, and you got maybe enough people that you got in Rudy and Jaden, you got those guys have been your two straws that stir the drink defenders, right? That has set the tone for everything else on the two best Denver offensive players. So it's got to be built around that, and I hope that those guys are just off shooting, because for a lot of nights, Joker has not been anywhere near as good a shooter as he can be. But on the other side of it, in terms of who you use off the bench, who you play how much, we talked about that. That's what I asked Sam about when you're the head coach. That's what you have to sense. And he said what you have to sense is even if a guy misses his first 2 or 3 shots, his body language, is he in it? Because you can't give up on a player, he said. He said you can't wait too long, but you also can't give up on a player if in your heart as the coach, you think he's doing things and playing the right way. So the trick tonight is going to be whether Finchy's got the magic touch on where he goes off the bench and for how long he goes with whatever that combination might be. And that's going to be, I think, the most fascinating part of this thing tonight. Clearly, I'll put it again this way. If you tell me that Dosunmu doesn't play, as much as I've tried to be Pollyanna today, I don't know how you get past that, because that's another willing defender that is not available, and a willing ball handler who is not available. That probably would be a bridge too far. You're literally out of people at that point. So that's the question. Is it the kind of thing? My assumption is he's going to try to go, but then what if he does try to go and he can't move? Well, then obviously you got to put him back on the bench, and then you're putting people. Well, at that point, I guess you'd have to see TJ, whether you wanted to or not.
Jalen Clark.
And Clark, you just have to throw some other people out there and hope that something sticks.
All right. Yeah. That game is on Twin Cities News Talk AM 1130, Timberwolves channel of your iHeartRadio app. Jim Pete, Alan Horton, 103.5 FM as well. Twins also playing tonight, 6:40 at Target Field. We did get confirmation, $6 tickets, $6 beers.
Embarrassing.
I love it.
Yeah, I know you do.
You got to try. You got to try.
You're basically saying, come down to see the Wolves, but at least show up so we can count you as attendance when you're going to leave in the second inning.
I give anybody credit for trying. You got to try. You got the marketing people have to they have to play the hand they're dealt.
Yeah.
The marketing people, the ticket people, they're not poll ads. They have to play the hand that they're dealt. And I appreciate that they haven't curled up in the fetal position. In fact, it should be inspiring to the Timberwolves. Said, look, we're down to it. We've lost another series.
On behalf of the wrong people.
We lost 2 out of 3 again to Seattle. But these guys are showing up to work. They're trying to find a way to get people into the ballpark.
Is there any chance we could sign Malik Beasley tonight to a 10-day? Probably not. I don't think he belongs to us. And isn't he still on suspension?
I was going to say, I'm trying
He's
to remember.
Under investigation still.
For a million things.
Yeah.
I mean, did that gun thing in Plymouth ever get resolved? He's always had something. Bailey Ober on the mound tonight as we start a series anew with the Toronto Blue Jays.
He's tall enough to play in the Wolves-Denver series.
That's true. He actually could. Kevin Gausman for the Blue Jays. So that's what's going on.
All right, let's do this. We got an inbox to open at the bottom of the hour. Email Gaardsy, jg@kfan.com. I've got an interesting anniversary to discuss if I have this one right, and I rarely do. But first,
TheFanandBigDeck.com want to give you a shot to win bonus bucks. It's our national cash contest. The final keyword of the evening is media. Go to KFAN.com and enter the keyword media.
Fan.
Trying to get the analysis from Kenny and the guys, obviously Charles and Shaq, because they were just about to preview Wolves Nuggets. And I got far enough along to hear Charles say that he believes one of the things Denver did successfully last game is move Joker around a little bit more. I don't know if any of them are going to have the cojones to actually pick the Wolves tonight or not. I mentioned Brian Scalabrine is picking them tonight, the SiriusXM and NBA analyst. Actually, now he's on NBC and Peacock as well, sometimes at games, sometimes in studio. And they did try again to get Shaq going on Rudy. Kenny did, because Kenny said, he's gotten some very timely stops on Joker, has Rudy. And then he pointed at Shaq and said, your favorite guy.
Yeah.
And for that moment, Shaq let it go. Now he's talking now, and he might be going off on Rudy. I'm not exactly sure.
They also called Wemby 2 nights ago the second best French big man going right now. And someone said, who's the best? And Charles said, Rudy.
Oh, that's too good.
Yeah, it was good.
So they're doing all the trolling.
They are, yes.
They should. That's why it's such a fun show. Dan Minnesota reminds me, I think this is a big date, too. But you should probably check, Gaardsy, because you know how to do this. I believe it was 25 years ago today, I wrote one of my most vicious Wolves columns. And it was when they just lost again in the first round. I think this time it was to the Spurs. And I was mad as hell, was not going to take it anymore. My basic premise was, we're in the same place we're always in. That is, we have an overachieving regular season. We get dispatched in the first round of the postseason. We say we have nothing to hang our heads about. The coach of the opposing team that's just knocked us off says, great opponent.
Gives us the Izzo.
Up-and-coming club. Does the Izzo thing. Pat on the head. And I basically said, if you don't make a dramatic change or try to mix it up in this roster, we're going to be in this exact same place again the next year. And by the way, they were. And I think it's when I introduced the 600 First Avenue Country Club concept, which I then milked for literally...
We still do it.
We still do it for over a decade. I think that was the one that set me over the edge. I'm pretty sure. And now it's 25 years ago today.
So we're looking at 2001.
So it'd be 2001. Yeah. Okay. And they lost... I don't remember if it was game 5 or 6, but then they were eliminated, and it was to the Spurs. Actually, that was best of 5 days, so it was 3-1. They lost to the Spurs on that occasion, 97-84.
You want me to read it?
And I'm pretty sure I went country club on the bit then, did I not?
The headline, a monotonous story needs a new ending. After his team lost 97-84 Monday night, Flip Saunders said the Timberwolves had nothing to hang their heads about. Spurs coach Greg Popovich, congratulating the losing team for its aggressiveness and execution, agreed with Saunders. If you thought Groundhog Day, the movie, was monotonous, check out Groundhog Day, the basketball epic. Wolves overachieve in the regular season, play a round one opponent just tough enough to lose, then receive hugs and kisses from both coaches. The one who loses, always Saunders, is the one who moves on to round two. Popovich now takes a 2-1 lead over Rudy Tomjanovich, George Karl, and Mike Dunleavy in the league's Stroke the Wolves contest. No wonder the Wolves could not sell out Game 4. The folks have seen this humiliating movie too many times to bother paying to see another return.
Well, see if eventually you can get to the jump and whether, because I think it was on the jump I might have talked about. But the premise, I think, was basically nobody will speak out of turn in this organization to say enough because it's like a country club. They're all in it together, and so they reinforce each other, and they want to hold on to the country club, to the sort of cushy nature of all these guys continuing to have their jobs and nobody questioning anything that's going on here. Nobody in that environment is going to speak out of turn. Or maybe it was a different year on the country club. Was it in that one? Did you find it?
I don't see country club.
Then it must have, you know what? I must have written that the next year then when they lost the first round because they still lost the following year. Would have been, was it 2 more years?
Yes, they would have lost in 02 and 03.
Yeah, so maybe it's not. It's well, you can tell from the concept. I'm already getting bored with it. Wolves fans are already getting bored with it. But eventually, that's what inspired the whole country club concept. And I did not make a lot of friends on that one within the organization, as I recall it. But that was my beef on when Dwayne Casey got here. I didn't think Dwayne Casey even got a legitimate shot because he wasn't a member of the country club. Remember, they replaced him with another member of the country club, Whitman.
That's right.
And it didn't do it. Nothing good happened from that point forward. And it was the old deal of you get the same people together over and over again. And let's face it, what turned it for the Wolves? They finally said enough, and they went out. It didn't last. But they went out to do the MB3 thing. They went out and they got Cassell.
Yep.
And they went out and they got Sprewell. Unfortunately, they thought they were going to get at least 2 years out of that bid. Hopefully 3, and they got 1, right? Because by year 2, it disintegrated.
They didn't even make the playoffs the next year.
That's exactly it. That was country club living for back in the day. But it was true that you got to sort of see past the coach of the other team saying, hey, these guys are, they're up. It's just a matter of time. Well, it was a long time. Because didn't we lose in the first round 6 straight years? I think it was 6 in a row. And again, a lot of times you could say, well, they were not as good as the team they lost to. But it's the old thing of, well, then you're going to have to try something pretty dramatic here to give KG a chance. And by the way, when they did, at least 1 year, they were viable, right? To this day, there are people who think without the injury to the big balls dance guy, Sam Cassell, that they might have been able to.
I agree with that.
To at least get to the NBA Finals and maybe win the whole thing.
I'll take that forever. Danny Ferry apparently had a big day against us that day for the San Antonio Spurs, David.
I don't even remember that. Wow.
Not to be confused with Kareem Rush, who knocked us out of the playoffs in 2004.
That's true.
6 3-pointers.
Yeah. That was when, think about how lives have changed, or at least one life has changed. So at 04, that's my first year out of the Star Tribune. But I convinced Dan Seaman, one of the people used to run this place, let me go with the team to L.A., okay? And I was going to do like little blog entries. And who was the guy who accompanied me to help get all of that facilitated?
That was Chad Abbott, right?
No. .com Tom. Chad Abbott on one occasion, but on another occasion was .com Tom.
He went to L.A.?
Exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah. Very, very true. And he also would help here when I was trying to get some stuff done here at the old Target Center Cage location. Things have changed things may not have changed for me. Things have changed for .com Tom since then, don't you think?
I remember one of the times we had him on, he talked about that.
Yeah.
Waiting for you to get the laptop.
Yeah.
And then he had to give Horace Grant a ride home.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Because Horace Grant was turned around in the Skyway.
Really?
Yeah. So
that's pretty good.
He got Horace Grant in his, as Tom would call it, probably like his 2-door Honda Civic at the time. And got Horace Grant, the NBA player, in there somehow. 612
guy writes, my God, why did Flip ever talk to you? It's a good question, actually. But Flip and I
says a lot about Flip.
Probably more about him than me. But I had to say what I had to say. You can't let the friendships get in the way of analyzing it, right? I mean, they were stuck. He didn't even deny it. They were stuck in purgatory, right? They were stuck in this middle ground that eventually you got to get out of. Don't you agree? I mean, you got to call them how you see them, don't you?
Well, they would agree because they eventually ended up doing it.
Can you picture Bump just seething during the pop presser? That's from Dan, Minnesota. Yeah, I was. It's like, oh, here we go. That's what's supposed to buy us off? The other coach applauding as they knock you off? Yeah, that's great. That's just wonderful. Yeah, so we'll find it eventually. It obviously was a different year when I went country club on the bit. But it was one of those. In fact, I remember afterwards going to, what's Mahoney's place?
The Loon.
The Loon with Ashy for dinner afterwards. And it was I think it was the country club year where I said, what are we doing? It is Groundhog Day. We're living in this same story. Really good regular seasons, right? We'd win 50 a lot of the time or close to it. And then we just couldn't manage to upset anybody because generally they were still not favored in most of those series, but sooner or later you got to make a bit of a jump.
Instead, here's April 29th, 2002. I'm already at the jump. Instead, after the usual patronizing pat on the head by the opposing coach, now a Minnesota right of April, there was the obligatory "we're not going to make changes for changes' sake" speech from Saunders. In the locker room, Kevin Garnett spoke in the usual hushed tones about being disappointed. Same old garbage. And why not? When you are part of a country club in which there is no real accountability, why rock the boat? When Dr. Zarkov gets a 5-year, $25 million deal fresh off playoff series loss number 5.
By the way, for those who don't know.
Why worry about playoff series number 6? When Kevin McHale, a.k.a. the Ostrich, is just as untouchable, Glenn Taylor has already said his job, once again, perfectly safe. Why worry about working overtime to improve the team? I remember a member of the Wolves traveling party cackling over the cover story of the Star Tribune's NBA special section. The premise was that the Wolves Brain Wizards were facing serious pressure to get out of round 1. Who are you kidding, he said. How are they under pressure when they're getting contract extensions before we're out of the first round?
I wonder who that was. Who said that to me? Well, I still have to protect him, but I don't remember. Yeah.
After all, the less attention the country club members call to themselves, the less likely anybody will be to blow the whistle on the whole tired operation.
You know what's great about it, though, in the current administration? I think, because it can happen to any organization where you kind of cover for each other because you've got more to lose, right? Because it's your organization. But my sense of Tim Conley, and I'd love to say this to him on air, I haven't had a chance lately, is he is tough enough on himself in the organization that he's going to do what he's got to do. And if that means staying the course, he'll do it. But if it means he thinks we got to make another change, because he sure as hell made some major changes, even with success here, he's going to do that too. That's what you got to have, right? You got to have people in charge who are perfectly willing to break up their own country club if that's what they need to do. And I think that's why regardless of what happens tonight or in Game 7, I wouldn't be at all surprised if, they make another that Conley, if he stays, does go to Dallas for a lifetime deal,
right? And
probably some ownership of the team doesn't, still eventually make a decision to say we're going to have to mix up, we're going to have to change the core of this team.
Can I read just a couple more?
Yeah, real quick.
We've got the inbox, jg@kfan.com. They let Tom Gugliotta and Terry Porter walk. They kept Dean Garrett longer than they kept Bobby Jackson. They locked in on a long-term deal on Terrell Brandon, then were shocked when 1, they were unable to trade him, and 2, he could not stay healthy. They became obsessed with Joe Smith, an ordinary player. I'm just going to skip ahead. Zarkov and the Ostrich have put together a roster that has no real identity. The Wolves are neither powerful nor particularly athletic. The team's basketball IQ? Well, after 85 games, some players still don't know the plays. But by golly, Zarkov and the Ostrich sure have the guys playing hard. That has to be worth at least another standing ovation and maybe even another contract extension.
God, that is vicious, isn't it?
You still play the contract extension card a lot.
I do. That's true. That's not. Yeah, that's there. Yeah. Well, then the question was whether when they moved to is it One Mayo Clinic Square?
Yes.
whether you just keep it at 1600 First Avenue or you have to, Country Club, or you go to One Mayo Clinic Square. I think I just kept it 1600 even after they moved.
Yeah, 600. 600 First
600,
Avenue.
Yeah.
Or
exactly.
1600.
1600, yeah, that's right. All right, well, that's it. There's a reason they call me the a-hole in the afternoon. That's all I can say. But you got to say what you. And guess what? Eventually, they got the message. They said we got to break this thing up. Now, again, sadly, it was all of 1 year, right? The ascension.
It was,
but that was better than what had come before.
Are you nuts?
Spree, feed your family. Cassell
was going into locker rooms to say you should trade for me.
Yeah, it was. It got out of hand very, very quickly. All right, let's do Inbox. Dr. Dan's Inbox. That's going to wrap up the show today because the Extended Wild pregame show will begin at 6 o'clock, opening face just past 6:30. All of the action right here on the fan.
Show wrap, the final segment presented by American Pressure, commercial-grade pressure washer since 1975.
It's the bumper-to-bumper show wrap.
Is there a media brawl going on right now involving one of our guests today, Nick Halter?
I don't know.
Well,
I'm not familiar with that one.
I'm just, I peruse StarTribune.com to see what's happening, if we're missing anything. Here's your headline. Replace Target Center with new arena at downtown City Center? Fry likes it. Mayor Jacob Fry thinks the new home for the Wolves and Lynx could be at the Ailing City Center in downtown Minneapolis. The idea, which Fry discussed in an interview with the Minnesota Star-Tribune on Thursday, appears to be just one of many for what could be downtown's most seismic development opportunity. Now, did they do that after Halter had his scoop?
Not sure.
And are they going to acknowledge it at all? I mean, come on. Now, they do say later, the City Center notion was first floated by an Axios reporter over a year ago. That's all they say.
That's
by an
pretty
Axios.
thin.
Now, there's a link to the story, but shouldn't you name them? I'm just kind of curious.
You tell me, you're the newspaper
vet. I'm curious about the timing here. Is it, we read what Halter wrote today, and then we said, let's get a hold of the mayor, and that's not illegal, but I would say there should be, if that's true, some greater acknowledgement. Now, if they had it up early, that's another story, but I think, let me see the time on this story. No, it's filed, it says here, 3:15 Central Time.
Well, that's much later.
Yeah, that's much later than Halter. So that's pretty intriguing. That's intermedia stuff. Your average group might not care, but it's kind of juicy for some of us. Real quick, before we get to some Dr. Dan's Inbox items, did Kevin McHale ever get mad at you for calling him the ostrich? No, but his wife did.
Well, we haven't had him on the show in a really long time.
And that's also true.
Yeah.
Dan took the pen as a weapon, literal, and I love it. That's from 651 Gal. Dan, I actually miss the viciousness you had in the Star Tribune. They say the truth hurts sometimes. Well, the irony in all seriousness on Flip is, over a period of many years, he became probably, I said this when he passed away, among people I'm supposed to cover, he blurred for me the line more than any other person I had. That was obviously after that, but I also got to know him better after he left the Wolves. And we were in different position in that regard. And we became very, very good friends. And sometimes that's the way it happens. Dr. Zarkov is a Flash Gordon reference, which means how old that reference is. Let's get to some letters. You got some good ones?
It's time for Dr. Dan's Inbox.
Letters. Oh, we get letters. We get your letters every day.
I do miss the best part about Flip, though, is when you ripped him, he was always listening. This is for any of us.
That's a great point.
And he would just call the hotline.
Yes.
And either want to say something off the air.
Some of it, I, in all honesty, because we talked about some of the stuff that he didn't like that I wrote. It's because it's a little bit like with Luigi.
Exactly right.
Because there are some people in that side of it who get it. They may not be happy, but if when you're speaking to them, you treat them decently and you talk to them like a human being and you get this stuff out, not everybody falls in that category, but Flip absolutely did. Luigi did. Billy Guerin does.
He does.
There's some who sort of, okay, I don't like that job. He's a pain in the ass, whatever. But I understand that that's part of the bit, and there's a job to do there. And like you said, how many times did Flip call in? Endlessly, you know.
And he would explain why, or he would argue with you.
Exactly.
I remember him calling In the Zone one day when I was driving around because they were talking. He called me on the Cake Show one time about the coaching search when we all knew it was going to be him.
Right.
Hey, why do you think George Karl doesn't have a job? He would just do that. It was the best.
Was that the line he actually used?
Yeah, well, off the air. I think we can say it now.
Yes, that's true.
Dear Dr. Dan, I write to you today, not with a question initially, but rather a list. This list takes into account the injuries of D. DiVincenzo and A. Edwards, and the context of said list will be revealed later in the letter. Here's the list. 1. B. Highland. 2. N. Reed. 3. J. McDaniels. 4. J. Randall. 5. Argo Bear. 6. M. Conley, parentheses, sleeper. What is the context of such a list? What is the order of who would most likely be to replicate my famous B-balls dance should they hit a series-winning shot tonight at T-Center? S. Cassell.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Highland, Reed, McDaniels, Randall, Gobert, or Conley?
That's a really good letter. I would say, I'd lean B. Highland.
Yeah.
Because I think he might have more of it in him, especially if he comes out of nowhere and scores 30, tonight, something like that, which would be amazing if indeed it took place. He'd become a folk hero here forever, right? No matter what else he did or didn't do. Obviously, M. Conley would be perfect to the extent that he's the last guy that you think to do it, which would make it all the more sensational if he were to do something like that, correct? M. Conley.
Yeah.
What do you think? Who would you put at the top of the list?
B. Highland.
Yeah. What about J.
McDaniels?
I mean, you say, to a certain extent, he's the guy. Because even though he's under the radar guy, he's also saying, I'm in your face in this series, and I don't give a damn if you don't care.
He's definitely the one, if they're winning, to do something explosive. For sure.
Dan, were you harder on Mason or Flip? Mace, I think.
Yeah.
Over a period of years, I think probably so.
Mace would say him.
Yeah.
Mace didn't even realize you ripped other people.
Yes.
Just like he doesn't realize we still do the show.
He doesn't think anybody else exists but him.
It's time for Dr. Dan's Inbox.
651 guy, we all miss Phil from Minneapolis. More than you could possibly know, but go ahead.
Dear Dr. Dan, all the guards are dropping like flies. Injuries have ravaged the backcourt. Am I upset I didn't get the starting role this season? Am I upset I was traded not once, but twice? Am I upset that after I was brought back, I was relegated to the bench? Oh, man, I'm good. I'm about to blow the roof off Target Center tonight. M. Conley.
That would be a nice touch, too, wouldn't it? He's in that group that I'm very curious to see how much he plays. And my guess is it's going to be like S. Mitchell pointed out to us, between 3:30 and 4. It's whoever's got it going you're going to either stick with. But as he said, the tricky part is knowing when you've gotten maximum mileage and taking a player out before he starts to revert, right? That's the hard part. And there's no secret formula to that. S. Mitchell said it. I've said it all week. Guard like you've never guarded before. That's the one thing you can control. Now, again, you're down, a couple of bodies. A. Edwards can guard when he's in the mood. D. DiVincenzo is decent defensively. And now we don't know what the update is on A. DeSumo, but because he's almost got to play tonight. But control what you can, which is you got the two top defenders in this series are both healthy and both willing. And to me, that's your only shot is, pester their two scorers and hope that they're off again tonight and score just enough points to steal it.
It's time for Dr. Dan's Inbox.
Are you guaranteeing the Wild victory tonight, by the way?
If I need
to guarantee it?
I'm ready. I think they're better. I think this is the time.
I think they are.
I thought they're better
tonight.
the whole series.
Yeah, I think this is the night.
Speaking of the Wild, dear Dr. Dan, I'm sorry. I didn't realize my absence would be so disruptive. I was just taking a few days to get my head right. Now that I'm back, I promise to be happy and help Kay Kaprizov not be grumpy. I will work to fix the power play and the penalty kill. I'm a little surprised the wheels came off so quickly. I am nearly 39 years old. But Dr. Dan, I need some help, as I can only do so much. There are some housekeeping items here that I just can't address while I'm on the ice. Number one, would you please limit the amount of coffee M. Russo has? It's hard enough to understand his questions without a translator when he's not rambling 100 miles an hour on a caffeine buzz. Two, can someone help Z. Halverson limit his mess from concessions? The staff will have enough to clean up after we win. And most importantly, there's a funky smell coming from the lower levels of the arena that is distracting on the ice. Can you please send a lighter and more candles to KFAN to help combat the issue? Looking forward to a trip to Colorado. Your Zucchi Blanky, M. Zuccarello.
I forgot to ask M. Russo, is it Zucchi? Is it Zuki? I think he said Zuki. You think it's Zuki, right? Or do you think it's Zuki?
I thought it was Zucchi.
I think
it's kind of in the middle of ooh and
Yeah, I think you're right about that. But we've heard it a lot of different ways. He's clearly the most underpaid player in the history of the team. I say that half tongue-in-cheek, half not, because, like I said, we've been told that he changes absolutely everything. And when I find out how much better our one-loss record was when he's on the ice than not this year, I'm beginning to believe there might be some truth to it. And it's ironic, given he's not all that well compensated. He is, 38 years old?
Yeah, almost 39.
And has apparently built his dream house back in is it Oslo? Is that Norway?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's in Norway. That's the only city I can think of.
Yep.
And it's almost like he's become the most indispensable player on this roster, for God's sake. So we'll see if that continues tonight. I'm not exactly sure if it will, but one can only hope.
It's time for Dr. Dan's
First-time letter writer here. First-time letter writer in the real life sense. Dear Dr. Dan, I've been following the Wolves and Wild injury report. Have to comment how disappointed I am. How weak are these NBA and NHL players? A simple Achilles tear for Dante? Child's play. I played with the worst high ankle sprain in history. I have proof. After only 6 weeks of brutal recovery. Torn up knee for Ant, different body part, but I only missed one game after my hand was literally torn in half during a game. It was reported as a hairline fracture, but that was fake news. Brodin with a lower body injury. If you can't even specify the injured body part, then it's not a true injury, Dr. Dan. If you have any contacts, please send these players my way. I'll have them ready for the showdowns tonight. I'll guarantee that not only will they play, but their teams will win. After only an hour with me, they'll realize that Ant, Dante, and Brodin may be hurt. But 5, 0, and 25 are good to go. This from 9, Jay McCarthy.
I didn't see that one coming. That's pretty good. There is great audacity there when 9, Jay McCarthy, would be commenting on anybody else's. I just choked up.
Well, McCarthy does that to people. You get emotional thinking about old 9 running out there.
Injury status. That's how we say.
Maybe. Why don't you grab your water?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll hit
Keep
the
it
music.
going.
We've only got 6 minutes left.
I think I can make it.
Inbox.
Sounded like Halby.
Oh, we get letters. We get your letters every day.
Heck of a hockey game. Dear Dr. Dan, I want it known that if the Timberwolves played before us tonight, I would make sure the score was announced. I heard some guy named John or Jimmy, something athletic, told the PA announcer not to announce our score at Target Center. We at the Minnesota Wild won't let anyone, even M. Russo, do that. We will also be showing the Timberwolves games on the Jumbotron any chance we get tonight. Also, I've been pre-gaming since I woke up today. This from B. Guerin.
That's a kind of a callback to the last time he was on with us when we literally woke him up.
Oh, I think it's also talking about fans getting drunk before a 6:30 puck drop.
Yeah, I might have tried to overlook that, but I think you might be right about it. Here's my other question for both arenas, at Target Center and at the arena formerly known as the X. Will there be twin score updates announced via the PA system on a regular basis?
Oh, man.
It's another story for another day.
Actually, go ahead.
No, the callback was I had mentioned I thought it would have been a dramatic moment. This would have been during, was it game 4?
Yes, Saturday night.
Yeah, the
game
Saturday
4.
night game 4.
Yep.
If during the Wolves game, PA announcer guy, who's brilliant, would have, with very dramatic fashion, announced that the Minnesota Wild had won their game in overtime over the Dallas Stars.
It would have been
It
awesome.
been tremendous. People are already pumped up with the way that certainly the way the Wolves played. They were down about the injury. I am too. I'm not saying there's any conspiracy here.
No, they usually
I just
do.
think it's something like that. Something like that should be almost automatic because they all say. Well, the last time we had Tim Conley on, I think, which was 5 years ago.
Yep. His initial press conference day.
Pretty much. He said, "Hey, look, we root for each other here. There's no, we love all that stuff."
Well,
right?
most of the time in one of the suites at Target Center, it's all the other executives. Quasi's been in there.
Yeah.
That was where Falvey was. They hang out in the suite. They go down to the A-Rod room. Yeah, Conley's tight with all those guys.
No question.
So it's not. He's won Minnesota.
It's time
Dude, just a couple of walk-offs here.
Inbox.
Oh, we get letters. We get your
Would the big balls
letters.
dance be fined today? Hendo wants to know. If somebody did, if somebody did the big balls dance tonight for the Wolves in celebration, would that be fined? Was it
I don't think so.
was Escasel fined? I don't remember.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't think it would be.
I don't think it would be. Could be wrong.
With this
But anyway.
commissioner?
Yeah, I guess you never know.
Dear Dr. Dan, hello. $2 beers over here tonight. This from T Field.
That's pretty well stated. That's pretty much it's going to be an echo. There's going to be an echo at Target Field, T Field tonight.
I might stop on my way to the Wolves game. Get a
Probably
$6 ticket, maybe a $6 beer.
I have your own section.
That's true.
Yeah, that's very true.
Walk in right off T Plaza, go right to the left, get a pop.
You asked earlier, and we haven't got any answers to the affirmative, if there is anybody trying to figure out some creative way to attend both games.
Oh, along those lines. Here could be the final one.
All right.
We have a minute and a half.
Perfect. Inbox.
Sometimes the inbox just works seamlessly. Hope the Wolves play as well as we are right now.
We get your letters every day.
Dear Dr. Dan, earlier Jay Gard was wondering if anyone plans to go to both playoff game 6s tonight. I fully plan on going to both as long as C. Leopold can give me 2 tickets to his owner's suite. C. Swanson gives me one of his courtside seats. Oh, and can I get someone to give me a helicopter ride from St. Paul to Minneapolis? Oh, and one more thing. If I could get a complimentary limo ride to Grand Casino Arena, not because I can't drive, I just don't know how to get to downtown St. Paul. Go Wild, go Wolves, M. Rosen.
That's very well played. Is that from one of the regulars?
That's from Larry Mondello guy.
Larry Mandela guy. That's well
As
done.
Rosen would say, okay, Larry Mondello guy.
That's what he would say, isn't it?
Yes.
All right, the music, the spinners now, because we're out for an extended Wild pregame show tonight. I very much would look forward to a bumper-to-bumper tomorrow in which we are celebrating both teams moving on, even though we know the shelf life for the Wolves probably pretty limited.
But you know what?
Unless Anthony A. Edwards can come back quicker than we assume he will. But let's see how it goes. We'll find out tonight. The Wolves, 8:40 start will be on the Timberwolves channel and on News Talk 1130.
Yep.
Wild will be on the flagship, the Flamethrower, 100,000-watt FM radio, and we'll review every minute of both games tomorrow, win, lose, draw, whatever the case may be, with an outstanding array of guests on, that'll be Friday, right? And who knows what else. Thanks for watching. Thank you indeed for listening, and we will talk to you tomorrow at 3.
But you know what?